Why are you here?
Okay, here's a look at Magic Square's MS06 Tornado, which is their version of a masterpiece scaled vortex. So here you can see what the front of the bio card looks like with the nice artwork of Vortex. And on the back, you get a silhouette of Vortex in his alt mode and the tech spec. So here's a look at the bio card done in a nice plastic, and his instructions that's on a open up sheet that's on both sides, front and back. So here you could see the front, and maybe you could pause and take screenshots if you want to see the transformation if you're interested. Yeah, I know there are some other reviewers out there that don't even do the transformation. But anyways, here's a look at the instructions. And here is a look at Vortex. And so now let's first compare this with the animation model and see how well Magic Square did capturing the toon aesthetics. And as always, they do a really nice job capturing the toon aesthetics. There really isn't much I need to point out here. And then when we take a look at the back view, you could see that they also did a really nice job. And here I just wanted to point things out because I see reviews showing you the incorrect transformation. Here you could see there is this panel piece that's all blue that you need to bring down so that it's all black. So you could see that's very toon accurate. So my point is, this panel piece in robot mode needs to be folded down. But yeah, you could see all the little details, even the back of his head that's red that some people are making some, comments about. But yeah, it's toon accurate. So Magic Square always does a really nice job capturing the toon aesthetics, and I'm just sharing my thoughts now. After doing my long review of Fans Toys Menasor and seeing how well they added all that nice extra detail, I'm a little spoiled now because I kind of agree with, some of those other collectors that, it would look nicer if there was just a little touch of extra detail, that X Transbots and Fans Toys does. Because now I don't know if I'm changing my preference, but yeah, I do like this according to my preference because this is very toon accurate. It's just, like I said, after the Fans Toys review, yeah, I can see how that extra detail just gives, enhances the aesthetics here a little bit more. But anyways, just rambling on, just sharing my thoughts. But now let's take a closer look, zoom in, and you could see that nicely sculpted head, very toon accurate. I'm laughing because yeah, I could see how little details would, just add a little bit more. But they did sculpt in a little bit detail here on the top of the chest. So that's nice. That's what I'm talking about, the little details here. That would be nice. And the neck, I wanted to show you this because this is really a nicely designed neck. Look at that. That's an actual neck sculpt there. That kind of like that pyramid shape. And it does go up and down. It rotates side to side, but no all around because it's not on a ball joint. And then you could see the shoulders, they can go out to the side on friction. They can go forward and back on friction. The biceps do rotate on friction. And here you could see it's part of the transformation. He does have a double jointed elbow bend, so you can get a full range of articulation there. And his hands, these hands, X Transbots, are nicely sculpted, and look at the way they function. They put the ball joint on the thumb. This is what X Transbots used to do, and unfortunately our Constructicons by X Transbots, yeah, have major hand design issues. But here you could see they even gave you a little joint for one of the digits on the thumb, and then look at this, you could flange these. Okay, I'm just saying this is really nicely done. And then his waist, he does have, this is interesting, they gave you a nice ratchet for waist rotation, and he does have a ab crunch. And then, oh man, his legs, I'm saying that because, yeah, I don't like their design for these legs, but they can go forward and back. So I mean, it kind of makes sense. I mean, I'm not going to get all into the, describing all of this, but you could see it's like a double jointed leg rotation, but it obviously causes some issues here. You have to make sure you push up when you're bringing it back down on the nice ratchet. And it does have nice ratchet going out, but I need to make this clear. You want to make sure you grab it here close to the joint and articulate this, just because the type of plastic and the way it sounds, leveraging the leg out from down here, I could see it's going to cause stress and maybe, cause some stress fractures, or, you might break this area. So if you want to rotate up, the legs out, I suggest doing it from close to the joint as possible. But anyways, he does have legs that can go forward and back and out to the side on nice ratchet. And then he does have thigh rotation, and he does also have a double jointed knee, and I think one of them is ratcheted. Is it? Yeah, you could see the teeth right there, so one of them is ratcheted. And then he does have a what is it? Well, no, maybe he doesn't. I thought maybe this part rotated, but no, he does kind of have a little bit of a ankle rocker. You could see it can work because this part is not interfering with the contact of the ground. It's just you just need to make sure just this front part of his foot is making contact. So it can work. It's just, I'm hearing some people complaining, but it can work. So that's the main thing. But unfortunately, you don't get any toe tilt up or down. So overall, in terms of the articulation, I think it's done fairly well. No butterfly joints like, some people like. And I didn't go over the accessories, but since it fell off, here you could see his gun, which is very tune accurate. And this piece does come out, so this attaches to the front of the alt mode to be very tune accurate. So I like that. That's really nice. And maybe that was good that came off, because here I could show you one of the difficulties with getting it tabbed in. First of all, you could see there is a slot and the tab. It's just really it's not very easy to get it in, is what I'm trying to say. So you have to kind of work hard to get that tab to line up, and then you need to, once you get it in, you need to make sure you push it in all the way. It works, it just doesn't work very easily is my point, but he can hold it. And then the other accessories that came already attached, there are the two guns on his forearms. And I'm kind of digressing, taking more of your time, because I just wanted to point out, I think this was really smart the way they did it. They had the tabs going on the bottom and a tab on the top, perpendicular, which I explained on the Fans Toys review that that's really a smart design. That's something in engineering which helps to strengthen the stability. So that's actually really smart, as opposed to some other versions, it's just tabbing it in and then you could see it wobbles or comes off. This is in here pretty securely. So done really well. So that's a look at Vortex. Oh, I didn't go over the back. Just take a look at the back, because this, I'll speak to this more in robot mode, but yeah, I mean, it does rotate, but you could see it, doesn't really rotate well because, yeah, like I said, I'll go over that a little bit in the alt mode. But anyways, here's a look at Vortex. And here is a look at Vortex with his other Combaticon teammates. So here you could see this really looks like an awesome set. Now we're just missing Blastoff, and that will complete this set of Combaticons. And I am actually really tempted to buy 2 of these to have the Bruticus, because this set looks, I mean, just look at it. It looks really nice. And here I'll just point out, you could see Swindle has the nice blue paint. Not paint, but the sticker that my friend Chris from YouTube and Facebook gave me, which makes it look much more toon accurate the way it should have came in the first place. And what's frustrating is on the box cover for it, they even have it blue. So I don't want to ramble, but you know, they know it, but they didn't give it the nice light blue color windows, so that's a little upsetting. But anyways, so you might want to get the sticker. But anyways, here's a look at them all together. This is a really nice set, so I'm really looking forward to completing the Combaticons. And in terms of the accessories, Vortex does come with the parts forming body piece for Bruticus. This one has the chest. And I don't really want to go through all of the details because I'm, you know, going to save some of your precious time and do the full review once I have all the parts, specifically the toon version parts. But just a quick look, you could see it is a nicely sculpted head. And again, I'm a little spoiled from Fans Toys now. Just a little bit of detail would definitely make this look nicer, but yeah, here's a look at that. It's a nicely sculpted, toon accurate head. And then you could see these joints. I have a little concern with this going up because just a force, I'm not able to rotate this up on both sides, but I can easily rotate these forward and back. But anyways, here's just a quick look at the other accessory that you get, which is the body part for Bruticus. So now let's just do some comparisons. So let's start with the previous Masterpiece version, which was MMC, Mastermind Creations. They're all built in? Yeah. Oh no, all in one or something. I don't remember. But yeah, here you could see the difference between these two. And yeah, I don't want to waste your time by just pointing out all of the little all the details, because you know I could ramble on and on, but I'll try to keep it simple. Obviously this is a little bit shorter, proportions are a little bit different. Here, this one's obviously much more toon accurate. This one's kind of like X-Transbots, you know, where it doesn't clean up well. You could see all these hinges and stuff exposed, but every time I point out, you know, the criticism with things, I always try to make sure I point out the reason why, so you know people won't you know start saying this is bad. I mean, a lot of that is due to the all built in, and yeah, so when you take that into consideration, you know, this is just a consequence of that. But I think it's really, you know, ingenious how they were able to have this all built in. So yeah, there's just, and you know, here I was telling you the way Magic Square handled it. Here, this does hold in pretty well. You could see the shape. They made it, I don't know what you call it, but you know, it's a post with the little tab together. So that kind of helps to actually prevent it from swiveling forward and back. So there's a look at the Mastermind Creations version. And I don't know which came first, but here I'm just bringing some things out randomly. So here is the Unique Toys version. And again, to try to save some time, I'll just, you know, just give you a group shot so you could see the difference. But I will share just some of my personal thoughts. You know, when I got them, that was before these. when I finally got it, I was really upset that these hips were blue instead of gray, you know, like these, to be very tune accurate. So I'm just letting you know I was kind of upset. And then this was all before the, you know, the trend with all the tune accuracy. So you could see the gun is obviously different. It's a different shape. I mean, it functions as something else because it does fold up. And then also you could see the guns on the forearm are black. They're not blue to be very tune accurate. And then of course we do have the, you know, I'm laughing because I already know what some people's comment on this is, but here is the Zeta version of Bruticus. And yeah, this is pretty big and chunky, but yeah, let me see if I can try to squeeze these guys together so I can get this big chunky guy in here. Or someone commented like the Incredible Hulk. So yeah, he's really big. And you know, I'm trying to look at this you know, from a design perspective. So you know, I like the way they sculpted the figure, you know, in terms of the details and stuff. They added little details here and there. And the most important thing is they didn't overly detail it like some of these other figures that are just way too detailed. I mean, that's not good design according to the way I was taught. But yeah, you could see the extra, you know, I mean, look at the chest. I mean, the way they handled that, it looks really nice. The little details here and the Decepticon logo. But now speaking to the overall bulkiness of it, again, every time I criticize things, you know, I always try to point out facts to try to understand why. Obviously, it's the combined mode, and if you think of their Bruticus, if he was gonna have that, you know, proper proportion of the left arm, which is what he is, he needs to be big and bulky. And so, yeah, that's my best explanation why he's bulky. Of course, they could have made more parts to have panels so it could fold it up to collapse to be much slimmer like these guys. But, you know, they're keeping the design simple, and they're thinking about the combined mode where Bruticus's arm needs to be big and bulky. So that's the reason why I think, you know, in robot mode he comes out big and bulky. So like I always said, that this is the consequence of that. But overall, when you take that all into consideration, I think it's done really nice. So let's see if I can try to get a tour of these guys around. I'm laughing because he is really big. And yeah, I'm trying not to be biased, but I'm also trying to be transparent with my honest personal opinions. And that is the Magic Square definitely looks much better. And this is an older figure. So here, I'm glad I pointed that out. I showed you the connection tab here, and you could see how they just made a little post. So that's not strong enough to keep it in there, and actually that causes this to, you know, move up and down. So I'm just pointing out some of the negative aspects of the form and function. But yeah, you could see overall, you know, in my opinion, I think all of these look good in the sense that there's something, you know, to appreciate about each one of these. I mean, there is that's funny. The details I was just telling you is kind of missing on the Magic Square, where you could see the Unique Toys version. They actually did give you some of these extra details. So you see how that actually makes it look a little bit better. Just that little bit of extra detail. So that just confirms what I just said. There's something nice to appreciate about each one of these. And in terms of form and function, this guy does not stand very well because he's so big and bulky. But anyways, yeah, just to try to keep my review short, I'm just gonna end it, end the comparisons with the other versions in robot mode here. So now let's go ahead and take Magic Square's Vortex and transform him to his alt mode, and take a look at that.
Hang on to your hats! It's gonna get a little windy!
Okay, here's a look at Vortex in his vehicle alt mode. And now let's compare this with the animation model. So you could see that they did a fantastic job capturing the toon aesthetics. I mean, I cannot really point out anything that's slightly off, other than maybe there is just a little bit of extra detail that looks really nice with this. And from the back view, you could see that it's pretty much the same thing. They, you know, all 4 windows. I mean, I can go on and on. You could just see for yourself. This is done very well in terms of capturing the cartoon aesthetics. So now let's zoom in and take a closer look. I mean, their paint finish is not like Fans Toys, you know, that has that metallic paint finish. This one still, you know, gives you like a nice glossy reflection because you could see the lights showing on there. And then here's the little details I was telling you that does add a little accent. And I'm laughing again because, yeah, my preference is starting to change a little bit. You know, the little extra detail that they add to the cartoon aesthetics does look really nice, and both Fans Toys and X-Transbots does that. Well, Fans Toys has been, you know, going more like this, trying to capture more of the toon aesthetics. I'm not sure why, maybe saving cost on sculpting, but their Menasor, they did go back to all the details, which looks fantastic. But anyways, I digress. Here you could see what he looks like. He does have the nice landing wheels, and this one you want to bring it out you know, during the transformation, and it does roll. And I said I was going to cover this helicopter, so here you could see, yeah, it does not roll very well because you could see it's yeah, it's not really straight, so it's always flopping down and hitting, so it's not able to spin very well. And I just, you know, what I wanted to share was this is an easy fix. They could have just made this a separate piece, you know, that will roll on its own, and then just tab it in, and that would easily solve this problem. And I think the reason why it's wobbly like this was because they wanted to keep it attached and try to figure out how to make this easily transformable with the blade on here. But again, if you just made this a separate piece, that would have made it much more easier to manipulate and transform it. But anyways, I just wanted to let you know that this unfortunately doesn't have a nice spin on it. Well, I thought this one spin pretty good. Yeah, it does. See, like this. But anyways, I digress again. Yeah, so here is a look at Vortex in his vehicle alt mode. And for some comparisons, I don't think I'm going to be able to get a group shot, so I might have to bring these out individually, one by one. Here is the previous version, Masterpiece version by Mastermind Creations. Here is their Vortex, and I'm laughing because I'm trying to think of how can I say things very short. But in terms, what I wanted to share with you was just the engineering. Well, first, the aesthetics. You could see, you know, it looks nice, but you know, this one, you know, it's not as accurate to the cartoon as Magic Square, because you could see the window shapes here. They're slightly different, and he's missing that signature blue gun on the front of the helicopter. So in terms of the cartoon aesthetics, it's not very accurate. Now, in terms of the engineering, the transformation and stuff, Yeah, in all fairness, the very first thing I have to point out is this is all built in. And so that obviously affects the overall design. So this one you could see doesn't clean up very well. You have all these hinges and parting lines exposed throughout the figure. But transforming it, because it's all built in, it is challenging. And then in terms of the form and function, yeah, I wanted to speak to the quality of the plastic here. I mean, I wish there was a way you could feel it, but the plastic here feels good. But the plastic here, where you're trying to get the two tail parts tabbed in, it's a harder plastic. And my point to it is, over time, trying to manipulate it, it's very scary because this is prone to breakage because it's a hard plastic. So I guess another good point is you just have to be very careful when you're transforming this figure. Very slowly and carefully. And when things get stuck, I mean, you have to just take your time to loosen up to be able to get enough leverage to pull it out. But anyways, here is a look at the previous version by Mastermind Creations. And here I'm just trying to see if I can get a group shot here with the Unique Toys version. Yeah, just like I thought, it's going to be a little hard getting them all in here. But yeah, here is a look at the Unique Toys version. And this is all before that trending Toon aesthetics. And first of all, yeah, you could see this probably wasn't good, having it attached like hinges in here to fold up, because you could see over time this is not going to hold up very well. But this one, like I said, this was before the the trending Toon aesthetic, so the old masterpiece style. Look at all that nicely sculpted detail in there, those rivets there, all these hinges and stuff. Yeah, and then they handled the windows a little bit different. It looks different, but I think it still looks nice. It's not consistent with up here, the nice dark transparent window, which looks nicer than the black paint. And I don't like the old style Decepticon logo with the silver backdrop. I don't like that. I'm trying to see what I could say, because obviously it doesn't meet my preference of the Toon aesthetics. However, I mean, I don't know if you see what I see. I think just aesthetically, this looks really nice. I mean, it looks like a really nice helicopter. It's just really unfortunate about the propellers. It does have some nicely sculpted landing wings with the hydraulics sculpted in there. This is a nice figure. So there is a look at the Unique Toys. And then this massive helicopter by Zeta Toys. Yeah, look at this. This does roll nice. They also use the pinch, but has multiple propellers here. Zeta, and yeah, they how do I say it? Their design is simple, which I'm telling you is the way you want to design things very simply. Transforming it was pretty intuitive. You just kind of have to, in order not to struggle, you have to look at it first and understand how things move, and then just see the overall parts. Well, obviously this is the feet, the front of the helicopter and stuff, and it's very easy to figure out how to transform it. And obviously aesthetically this is not very Toon accurate. This looks like I forgot his name from the first live action movie, the helicopter. Yeah, he kind of looks like that. But this looks nice. Oh, and then the little features that they gave you spring-loaded missiles, which is nice, but you don't need it. And what I wanted to say was, I wish they would all the companies would do something like the old generation Sandstorm I showed you, where, you know, they put a little ball at the end so that the ball has to snap in, and then you push it out where the ball will kind of act as the spring. That's really a cool design for the transformation without having springs and screw and a lock, just to have this shoot. And I'm not going to shoot it just to show you, but there is a little button here you could shoot the missile on the front here. But anyways, this one also has some nicely sculpted and painted detail. You could see this looks really nice. It's not very tune accurate, but yeah, okay. So enough rambling, taking up all your time. Just thought I'd try to show you real quickly some of the other versions. And here is a look at Vortex with his other Combaticons. And you could see how amazing that this set looks. Just missing the final member Blastoff, and I'm really looking forward to that. And every time I look at this, I'm tempted to really get a second set, because it would be nice to have all of these in robot mode or alt mode, which is fun to transform, because these are all, you know, very easy to transform. They do take a while, but at least, you know, the engineering on these is not complex and problematic, you know, with the bending plastic over plastic and the quality of plastic like you get with X-Transbots figures. But it is involved, so it does take some time, but it's enjoyable. So you just have to have the time. But anyways, yeah, just to have a nice set of Combaticons in either robot mode or alt mode, and then one for the combined mode. But anyways, here is a look at all the Combaticons that we have so far. So after another long review, I'm going to end it here, giving you my final thoughts. And simply put, in my opinion, this is a fantastic figure. I mean, just look at it. You know, it captures the cartoon aesthetics very well from both front view and back view. The articulation, the transformation is involved, but it's very easy. It's intuitive, and there's no worries of breakage or anything like that. It just takes some of your time. And he looks fantastic with the other Combaticons. And yeah, I don't know what else to say. I just can't really say anything negative about it. There's maybe little nitpicky things like the tiny little clearance issues trying to pull the propellers out here on the blades. But yeah, that's nothing really significant to point out. But overall, this is another fantastic figure. And just seeing the legend scale, I already know the Blastoff is going to be another fantastic, amazing figure. And it's going to complete the set, which I'm really looking forward to. And I'll say it for the third time. I'm really tempted in buying two sets, because I want to keep these guys in their individual robot mode. But I also want to have a really nice looking Bruticus as well. So yeah, I'll be thinking about that. But in short, to end my review, I'll just tell you this is a great figure. I don't give recommendations, because if you want it, you'll get it. If you don't, you won't. But obviously, if you have any of these, you're already all in. And I'm telling you, I don't think you're going to regret it at all if you just get the other ones. Plus, the cost factor, this is much more affordable than Fans Toys or X-Transbot, so this is worth it. So that's it. That's my final thoughts and review for the Magic Square Tornado, or their version of a Masterpiece scaled Vortex.
Maybe you don't